Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And why do you like being a designer? What is it about it? I mean, you could probably, do any number of things. Why be a UX designer? What do you like about it?
Uh, I like to be solving the problem of a user in terms of designing intuitive user layouts or interfaces, especially for domain like e-learning, educations, and online services, marketing services. To solve the problem basically is make me motivate.
Yeah, no, that's great. How do you think? I'm just curious, since you talked about that, and I think problem solving is a great approach. How do you think design will change in the next 5 years, given the advent of artificial intelligence?
Uh, Obviously, market is going to change because of AI. AI has many advanced technology to make application faster. Earlier, we used to spend much time to create application, to design application in months or couple of months, uh, a couple of months. But now, with the help of AI, within 2 days, 3 days, or within a week, we are designing our whole journey with the help of AIs. Uh, we are going in the industries in a fast pace because AI is helping us to improve our design, improve our skills. And if we are not using AI, then we are not going to provide a good solution to a user. And in the next 5 years, it is very crucial days for designers to learn skills like chat gpts, mid journeys, and also Figma has added a new AI features for making applications, for making generative AIs. Just like giving a prompt to a Figma, it will generate some layouts, dummy layouts. So based on that, it is very we can say very important AIs nowadays. And also AI is taking jobs who doesn't know the AI. So we need to be focused on AI and market trend as well.
I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. I mean, it was a while ago, to be honest with you. But there's kind of the theme of the conversation was, do you think the UI goes away with AI tools? Like we won't, like in the future, there will be no UI. You think that's true or not true, and why?
uh, I think it is not true. Why? Because until and unless we are not using AI, AI will give us solutions. No, AI will give the solutions, kind of a layout or blueprints, but we need to vanish by getting our own knowledge, or getting our uh, uh, own creativities. So I think we need to be use AI and make a creativity by our own. So this is the way we used to deal with AIs.
Well, let me give you. When sure I'm on mute. Okay, let me give you an example too. Let's say today a user goes in, logs into a product. They're trying to find an answer. They navigate through the system, screen, get to a report. Maybe there's visualization data, visualization. Got it. They look at it, and they scratch their head. Then they're like, okay, this is the question I have. I think this is the data I need. It answers it. Good. I can call up my boss, Carolyn. And hey, Carolyn, and the answer is 64. And she's like, great, thanks. Or I can go type into some prompt, what's the answer to the X, Y, and Z, and it says 64. So maybe there's an interface because I typed in a question, but it's not like the traditional interface of like I go into a product, log in, navigate, go to a dashboard, get something. I just asked the question, gave me the answer. I told my boss. Or better yet, maybe after before I say tell Carolyn, it says done. And it's Carolyn doesn't, it's like shoots the answer to Carolyn. That's just a different universe than probably what we think traditionally in terms of a UI universe, if you will. Do you think that's where we're headed in general? Things like that more and more? Or do you think there's some kind of interplay between interacting with an AI, whether it's writing, in the future, talking, thinking, and still visualizations are things that we have to interact with? Or do you think it's just always going to be spitting out answers and we don't need to look at anything? It just tells us and we just go, there you go. This is done. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously, AI is going to be replaced by humans, but we think we are not going with.
Well, maybe not replaced. I wasn't trying to go there, just so you know. I mean, we're still hiring, right? Designers. I'm just saying, I'm saying, the actual way of getting answers to questions might fundamentally change, is what I'm trying to say. I just was curious what your perspective on that is. Some people are like, to use the analogy of like playing cards, they've pushed all their chips in on the table. They're saying, hey, AI is going to transform user experience design completely. Not how we create stuff. I'm not like using Figma Make or I'm just saying like users are going to be using our stuff in the future and they're not going to be using it in the way that we are designing for today still. It's going to be a totally different paradigm, totally different way of interacting with technology. It seems reasonable, but also at the same time, you go, that also seems like that's, are we really there yet? Will that take 30 years? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is either. That's why I'm asking you. I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are and which way you lean on that one.
Yeah, maybe it's true. What you say is AI is really making amazing by replacing a traditional way of doing or solving the problems. So instead of doing like clicking on here and there and clicking on screens, is like it's now is boring. Now it seems like boring. Now anyone is looking like some interesting and quick response or quick result they are looking. So I think people will love to be like AI driven or AI modules to be included on our product and will make more intuitive the product which they are looking for.
Yeah, cool. All right. Sorry, I didn't need to dominate the conversation here. I'm going to turn it over to Carolyn. No, Carolyn, that's for you too. So I'll stop. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Well, you've got me thinking about the questions you asked because it's interesting. Like I know I was just sitting here going, what are my thoughts on this? And my thoughts are more like I think from an analytics perspective, it gets real interesting because to your point, I don't want to have to dig to get the answer. I just want the answer. But from a task perspective, it can do some of the things for me, but there's still the human intervention to make sure it's done right. So I think the task itself starts to change. And so I think it's really interesting. So you had me pondering for a few minutes and wondering. Um, for me, I wanted to dig in a little bit on you did a great job telling us like why you got into UX and actually a little bit about your background. But I was curious about your process a little bit and what you do to come up with how you're going to solve a particular problem.
Uh, Suppose there is a problem called a rural student who wants to become someone in life. He uh, he can't due to some constraint. So this is a problem. So a solution would be we can provide a tailor learning solution. Rural students who can achieve or become someone in life. So for this problem, I will use a design thinking process. This is a deep dive into each phase of five different phase. For example, uh, empathize, define, ideate, design, and test. First, first we will understand the problem and then focus on the research, whether it is primary or secondary research. Secondary research is a research which already has been available on the internet or in our organizations. So with the help of that, get the information and generate insights. And if we are searching a problem with the first person, then we should go with the primary research, which is a deep dive into user insights, user in-depth inquiries. With the help of interview, we can craft the question based on their pain points, what they likes, what they prefer, what their values, what their goal. uh, Based on that, we can get the information from interview and generate insights and make map the informations. And after that, go to the next phase, understand the uh, persona. User, basically understand the persona is just like a fictitious character or a target audience. Understand, uh, empathize the audience, empathize the users, and create some user journey, how user will come, how user will interact with the applications, what their goal is, how they fulfill their goal. And after that, go to the ideate phase, where we used to craft some Moscow methods, what should be there, what should not be there. uh, it has some basic uh, you know uh, information about what we need to keep on the applications, what should be there, what not be there. And after that, perform some uh, card sorting method with the help of what we have generated so far in the brainstorming, with the help of stack team holders. And generate cards. And after creating card sorting, create information architecture is something which deep dive of our whole applications or products. So where we need to place what, and all this information is placed in information architectures. And after that, create um, user flows, basically where the our user will come, where it goes, what the conditions, what the logics are. And after that, we have information, we have collected the flows, we have everything. Now we need to craft that application into a real world by creating sketches, wireframe. And after that, create a fidelity high fidelity wireframes, create a style guide and tokens. Style guide is nothing but like the design system which has some uh, number of elements, for example components. We can define typography, colors, spaces, cards, navigations, etc., with the help of components, and with the help of variations of components. And make a documentations. And check with the audience it is working or not, get the feedback from them, and make interview or create a usability testing wireframe with the help of maze, share with the targeted audience, get the feedback, and generate iterative process till a desired result, what they are looking for, what kind of pain still they have. So these are the process which we follow. And till work with the desired result, and uh, to overcome and get the results done.
Okay. So I know. Oh, do you want to go ahead, Jeff? Go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, I got at least maybe several questions in here. Okay, so thank you for that answer, very detailed. The first question is, take that process. Okay, let's say you do that process. Carolyn says you're going to work on project X, and you have 6 months to work on it. So you're great. So you got 6 months to apply that process, all right, as you just outlined it. would you do that once? You know, the empathy, the define, the ideate, all that. Would you do that once, that flow? Or would you take that process for the sake of the argument, as an example, just so hopefully you get it, what I'm trying to say thematically, not literally. Would you do that process 6 times once a month? So after the end of 6 months, you've done this process 6 times instead of 1 time. Which one would you do and why?
Actually, a process we need to do because we need to focus on the data driven. We need to focus on the user centric problem, and with the help of AI, we can boost our process by generating or getting interview with the AI and creating personas and generating information from the prompt as well. So it increase the speed of developing and designing of applications. I'll go with AI, and if we are going with the traditional one, I'll also go with the traditional one.
Yeah, so you would try to use AI, but then you try to do the process once, but for 6 months versus doing it 6 times in 6 months. Like once a month, you go through that like a faster iteration cycle is what I'm trying to say. You do it 6 times, you just do it once. Okay. Okay, thank you. And my next question is, when you talk about personas, you said fictitious. I'd like to double click on that. Can you tell me more what that means? So do you mean fictitious like um it's literally fictional? Like I literally write down a persona, let's call the persona Betty, and I say it's Betty the fundraiser, and I just sit down. Maybe I even use Microsoft Copilot, and I just say, I'm gonna start writing about Betty the fundraiser. And then I get done and I tell my team, here's Betty the fundraiser. I just made it up. There's no data here. It's fictitious. Is that a persona to you, or is the persona something different? It's data driven and based on data, and it's like you have to like it's all very detailed with data, or is it more fast, fictitious, just make it up just to try to help your team think about a person?
That data would be a fictitious because we are generating from AI, and AI will generate output based on the what we have beyond the arguments and what the data they have. So it generate based on their mindset or their what we call uh, their thinking process, their ML, and what they use to research, what they use to sort or something. But if we need some real data, we need to interview with a real person, like perform some in-depth inquiry with the person whom we have a targeted audience. So that data would be very pure and very clean data would be.
Which one would you use? Which out of those 2 examples, what would you prefer to do?
If we do have a less time, I will go with the AI, and if we do have a much time, then I will go with the in-depth inquiry.
Okay. And then last question, just on that particular example, and then I'll turn it back over to Carolyn here, is so in your process, very detailed, was perfect. Great. Thank you very much. Now imagine in that process, we already have a design system. We don't need you to create anything. We already have an information architecture. We don't need you to do any card sorting or create any navigation information architecture. We already have page layouts. We already have, I mean, we have all that stuff we need. How does your process change?
I'll make if we do need to change something in layouts in some components, then I directly change in the components itself without changing entire layouts, entire design system. The requirement, whatever requirement would be, I will make sure to be alter on it and make design prefer good design.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry, Carolyn. I just wanted to jump in on
Oh,
a little more questions related to the process there. So feel free to jump back.
no, it's totally fine. Um, Because I had some questions about like at certain points you said after you've like generated ideas and you've got wireframes, then you're checking back in with the stakeholders to make sure that you're in alignment. And I wanted to see like when you check in with those stakeholders, have you had situations where there isn't alignment and you've had to try and get alignment, and what have you done to do that?
Yeah, I have gone through. I always prefer with the data rather than a team or stakeholder. Why? Because we need to focus on a user centric or intuitive design. So we need to focus on a data driven approach by collecting the data, by interviewing with persons, like creating personas, creating their uh, journeys, creating or understand, empathizing the target audience, what they look, what their pain point, what their target, what their values, what goals. So based on that, uh, we I collect that data and perform on it. Basically, I'll go with the rational instead of imaginations.
Now, what if it's just like you have idea A and they think there's another idea out there? How would you handle that?
uh, I would prefer I'll go with the rational first, and still they are uh, not aligned with my idea. Then I only can convey, and I'll go with the boss or the stakeholder what they are saying. The first priority would be a rational, what the reasons, what the data driven. I would go with that one, or other. Then else I'll go with the what they are saying. The majority on this.
Okay. Um, Going back a little bit to like your history and how you went through to become a UX designer, it definitely felt like a lot of getting exposure and then going and reaching out to learn. I'm curious what you do now to stay up to date. Now that you're in the role and you're able to actually use the UX process, what do you do to stay up on trends, to continue learning, things like that?
Yeah. Uh, I used to learn from Figma communities. I'll update trends on social medias. Like some, I prefer Behance dribbles to be see some design, some trends, what they are doing, and I'm also focus on the product which I'm using on daily basis. For example, I'm shopping on the online platform, Flipkart, Amazon. I'll see the design, the uh, the uh, the rhythm, and what they are using, what kind of patterns they are using. I'll motivate. I'll try to implement and see, and yeah, this is the way I learn. And also, if I feel like I'm lagging somewhere, then I used to uh, I used to buy a course from Udemy, or I used to buy suggestions or some recommendation from senior designers, fellow designers. So this kind of approach I follow, and also I follow some designing blogs.
Sure. Is there a particular part of the design process in general that you're interested in learning more about? If you could focus on an area, where would that be?
I would like to be focused on motion graphics. Nowadays, motion graphics more popping, and it has more demanding now. I would like to be multimedia and motion graphics. I would like to learn.
Sure. So then I'm curious.
AI driven and a social focus or social good one. It helps peoples to solve their problems. So I value that. I want to contribute myself in terms of design. designing a solution for a problem for non-profit organizations or a social work or a social good one, where I will craft and make a user interface for those people who are in socials, and I'll make some uh, good effort from my side to create and solve the problems with the help of design. And yeah, this is the way which I would like to be uh, make a design to feel someone happy.
Gotcha. I got one more question, Jeff, and then I'll swing it back to you. Um, what are you looking for from a UX team?
uh, I would first love to check their process, their way of communicating, a way of understanding the problems, how they connect to each other, and how they solve the problems. And second one is I would like to be, learn from them, and I used to be teach from my side as well. If I know something, I'll teach them, and if they know something, I'll learn from them, and be a team and grow together.
Okay, thank you. Jeff, I'll swing it back to you.
Sure. Tell me about a time in your career or life, it could be life in general, where, you thought you had the right answer to X, Y, or Z, and you're wrong, and you learn from it. And it changed maybe how you worked or how you approached, design or how you approach work.
Uh, I'm sorry, could you please repeat?
Sure. Tell me about maybe a time in your life where, you're at work, you had a design idea. I'll give you an example, a design idea or something like that. And your idea was just wrong. It wasn't the right direction, wasn't the right idea. And you had to be like, oh, okay. And you had to learn from it and move forward. A lot of life is about learning, and learning doesn't mean we always come with all the right answers, right? I mean, so, have you ever had have you ever had an experience like that? And can you tell me an example of the time when you maybe didn't have the right approach or answer and you learned from it?
Yeah. So I know one of the application I was working on for a MailMate app, which is online ordering food. I was creating a card sorting flow. That flow is not as not matching as per the standard of what we have some competitive applications like Swiggy, Zomato. So my thought process would be I make a simple, not much graphics or animations on that, but I was going with the plain one. But my thought was not as much as trendy. So some fellow designers given a feedback to me that this is not going with the industries. You should be very focused on competitors, especially, and you have to be take one step back and learn and see what we have a different way of variations, or what we can do much better than this. So I had this. So yeah, I have learned, and also I got I get valuable feedback from the senior designers, and I get as a positive one to learn and grow. And ultimately, no one is perfect in the world. We need to be very focused on to what we are doing, and before doing, we just need to focus on our study, what we need to done next.
Very true. I'm still learning all the time. Every day, I think every day I make a mistake on some level. It feels like. Okay. This is my last question. I don't know if Carolyn, if you have any more after this, or we going to turn it back over to gosh for questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. My last question is it's more of alignment question, just because we want to make sure if people do end up coming on board at Blackbaud that this is what they want. They're happy and satisfied here. They're getting what they want out of the position. It's not just us interviewing you, it's you interviewing us. It's an alignment. It's the most important thing, because you're spending a certain amount of time of your week working with us. So I'm going to kind of describe a little bit of how I think of us, and then I want to see what your thoughts are and how that aligns with what you're looking for. So sometimes people, they're looking for jobs. They see a design position. They think this is going to be great. I'm going to show up at this company, Blackbaud, and I'm going to get to be able to do new product stuff from scratch. I'm going to be able to maximize my creativity, do things that I want to do. It's going to be great. And I'm going to do it all. And yeah, I'll have people I can talk to, it sounds like, and maybe learn from, but it's going to just be what I'm interested in because I'm really creative. That's what I'm looking for. That's not us. So we're at our company, we have a design system. We expect people to follow the components, the patterns in the design system. And when the design system doesn't work for them, yes, then we expect them to work and collaborate with the team on maybe a new pattern, a new way of thinking, a new layout, something new and different. But we expect people to use the design system. Where the creativity comes in for us is the problem solving. And that's why I was asking in the very beginning about even AI or not. It was kind of, I had a reason for that a little bit. Well, one, I was just curious. I was interested in what your thoughts were. But the other thing is because the designers on the team and the researchers, at the end of the day, they're problem solvers, or they're strategists. What we expect them to do is come in and whatever domain they work in within our organization. If you look at our website, you'll see we're in education, accounting, fintech, donor management, operations, foundations, grants. It's all over the place. And so when people come in and they work in that space, what we're asking them to do is to solve problems. And yeah, that may be solving a problem that requires an interface and understanding workflows and users and crafting that. And it may be something totally different. It may be something that we just automate. Who knows? But the point is that that's the creativity, is really thinking through and very deeply understanding the problem, being the root cause of the problem, and then being able to ideate a variety of different ways of solving it in a creative way. That does not mean greenfield. It doesn't mean, hey, to heck with your design system, I'm going to do my own thing, put my own UI. It's really not a UI position. That's why we really on purpose say UX. We don't even say UI UX. We say we're a UX team because we're about the experience. And the experience to us is, it might have an interface, it may not. We don't know. That makes sense to you? And now you might not agree with it. That's why I'm just kind of letting you know. I'm kind of curious. That's what it depends what you're looking for. I'm just telling you that's what you would expect coming to work as a designer on this team. Thoughts, comments, questions?
Yeah. I'm looking for the same like UX designers who can design something, who can solve the problems, which already we have a design system. We just need to utilize. And in some cases, if we need to modify it, we happy to modify it and work on the same. So
Yeah.
I would love to work on it.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because that last thing I want, it sometimes happens over the years. I've been here a long time. Every once in a while, you interview somebody, they even come on board, and then you find out later, they're like, I chatted with you, I didn't think it was going to be this way. I thought it was going to be something else. And you go, oh. So I like to be really crystal clear and very concrete about what the expectations are. So nobody is like, they don't come on board and go, wait a minute, you said X, and now it's something totally different. I mean, I don't care. Do you have anything to add to that? What I said?
No,
My friend.
I thought it was great.
Okay. What questions do you have for Carolyn or myself?
Yeah. So if you don't mind, I just want to know our team and our projects, how our team collaborates to each other, and how we are doing our good job or what we are doing currently.
Hey, Carolyn, do you want to take that or you want me to?
Either way,
I don't.
go ahead.
Okay.
I'll follow up if I have anything to add.
Okay, let me make sure. I want to make sure it felt like a little bit of a multi-part question there. So let me make sure. If I missed something, just remind me and say, no, you didn't answer X, Y, or Z for me. In our team, we do have people who have domain expertise, again, in some of those different domains I just talked about with you, like education, donor management, financials. But we also are a team that's very focused on working on very high impact projects. These are projects that will drive significant customer or business value. And so that means as a designer, it's possible we could drop you in for, again, it's hypothetical because I don't know the reality, but just as an example, this is I'm being real. You could be working in education. Carolyn is a senior manager who covers the education area, for example. You might be working with Carolyn for 3 months. I'm not saying she's your manager. I'm saying you might be working in the area that she oversees. You might be doing a deep project in there for 3 months. And you might go over to donor management for 3 months, or 4 months. You could move around depending on what the needs are, but they're all going to be high impact projects. They're going to be important. We don't want designers working out things that aren't important. So that's how we work. In terms of collaboration, we expect the team, part of our hiring process is we expect to hire people who are highly collaborative with each other. Now, collaboration happens in a variety of ways. It can happen asynchronously through things like Slack channels, conversations that way. It can happen through team collaboration meetings or sessions as well. It could happen through particular projects. You might be paired or working with 2 or 3 other designers or a researcher in a space. And so you're just going to be interacting and collaborating with them asynchronously, synchronously, you name it, but you'll all be working together. And that's on the design side. And of course, when you typically are working on projects, you're also collaborating with other people too. You could be collaborating with a senior developer, product manager, not uncommon to collaborate with product managers as well. And so it's a cross-functional team you'll be working with. So that's a little bit about the collaboration. And the third thing you asked is how do we know if we're doing a good job or not? Part of that is you can measure that in multiple ways. One way to measure that is internally, is the work that we're doing when we actually release it, or we're ready to measure or understand it, whether it's qualitative or quantitatively. Are we hitting the mark? Are we hitting the measures that we thought we were going to hit to be successful? Is it easy to use? Is it valuable? Is it valuable functionality? When we actually go out to maybe a limited release or when we go to general availability, we're following up. Are we making the mark? Are we doing the right things? Do we need to improve it still? Which is common. Sometimes you aren't going to hit it out of the park, right? You're going to release it and go, oh, we missed some things. Got to add to it. That happens. That's common. And then, so that's kind of the data side of it, if you will. And then there's also more the internal side, which is, part of a designer's job, part of our job, which is to promote and talk about the work we're doing with our stakeholders. And so we do things like we invite like my boss and senior vice president. We have a monthly design and research review. Every month, every designer and researcher presents for 10 minutes their work. And it's done for 10 minutes on purpose because we believe every designer needs to learn how to do a succinct elevator pitch of their projects. Imagine you're with the CEO in an elevator. You're only going up 3 floors. You only got a couple of minutes to tell them how you're doing, right? So we practice that. And we invite my boss to that. And he's been coming. He's a newer boss. I've known him for years, but he's a newer manager for me. We also send out quarterly digests of our work to what stakeholders in the organization, and have gotten feedback or heard from different leaders about that, but just also generally about our work and how we're viewed as a team. And I would say, generally speaking, from what I can tell, what I've seen, Carolyn, can add on if she'd like to. Generally speaking, we're viewed quite positively in both research and design. The research we do is considered valuable. the design that we do, design what we do is considered valuable. But even more importantly, as leaders in the discipline, and I don't just mean when I say UX, I'm thinking about it not just what you might think about like applying for a job as UX designer. I'm talking about the experience in totality. So now you start broadening out to things like engineering, broadening out to PM. Has it been uncommon for our team of experts to go in and teach and do trainings to PMs on things like outcomes-based design or problem framing or things of that nature? So we also have a lot of teachers, if you will, who can teach about accessibility and things of that nature. So we have experts in different areas too the organization relies on, and researchers they rely on. So that kind of, a large answer, but you asked me a multi-part question. So I'm trying to give you a little bit of everything that you asked there. Did I miss anything that you wanted to know, Goss? Carolyn, did I miss anything you want to add?
Yeah, I was going to add a couple clarifying things.
Sure, please, go for it.
Because we, like, to your point, we do work on high priority strategic projects, but almost every area has those types of projects. So it's not, we typically are working in every domain that we have. It's just how many people do we need based on the number of projects and the priority of those.
That's fair.
Those projects. So I didn't want it to seem like we weren't working in different areas. And it's great because you get to, I have my favorites. Like Jeff says, I am education and I'm also financials, and I love both of those. But it's nice when it's, you get to go take a break and learn a little bit about donor management for a little bit and then come back to what I know. The other thing I wanted to point out from a collaboration perspective is we are one large UX team, but we are subdivided into 3 smaller teams with managers, and each of those managers also have team meetings where most of us structure it in a collaborative way where it's like bring your work to get critiqued. Those people may know about the area, they may not know about the area, so you're not only having to potentially help people understand the problems you're trying to solve, but then also get that critique. So it's a really nice opportunity. And I believe we all have them on a weekly basis to get together. So we definitely try to make sure that there's high collaboration inside our teams. I also know, because I own 2 different areas, my groups tend to also then subdivide further, and the people that are working in the education space will get together to talk amongst themselves, and the people in the financial space will also get together. So, and people move in and out of those meetings based on what they're working on. If they're not on a project on it, they'll be like, I'm not coming for the next several months because I'm not working on anything in this area. So the team itself tries to also create as many collaboration opportunities as possible, so that way they're working together. And it's highly encouraged by us to do so.
Yeah, thank you for answering my questions, Caroline and Jeffrey. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Well, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you very much. Appreciate your thoughtful answers, and we hope you have a good rest of your day.
Yeah. Thank you.